Welcome to the Wyoming Knits podcast. My name is Jenny Lee, and this is where I like to talk about all things knitting. This is episode 7, and I'm coming to you from Southwest Wyoming, where I live with my husband, our daughter, and our little Yorkie Dax. You can find me on Instagram as Jenny Lee Knits, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jenny Lee S Knits. Today is May 21st. It is Sunday. It is finally warming up here in Southwest Wyoming, and I have a few finished objects and some works in progress I would like to share with you today. My first finished object is what I am wearing. This is my Marled Mania cardigan by Stephen West. It's all worked in garter stitch. It grew after I blocked it. It's warm and squishy, and I am going to love it this winter. I'll stand up so you can kind of see. It's got mohair held with some fingering on the bottom. This is all fingering weight held double, and then this has got a little bit of Suri and some mohair. So this is my first finished object. I was just on the sleeves last time I talked about this one, and my next finished object, my next two are socks. So the first pair is just a vanilla sock that I made for one of the ladies I work with that's moving. This is her last year with us. And this yarn is from the Backcountry knitter. And it is called Fall Foliage. I did 64 stitches, 2x2 rib, 70 rounds for the leg, slip stitch, heel flap, heel turn, and then a rounded toe. So these will be nice and warm for her in her new state. So that was my first finished object. I do have both socks. And then my next finished object I have is another pair of socks. These are my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks for this month. I have both of them. This color was the dark crystal. So my socks, I do 56 stitches, 2x2, 70 rounds, slip stitch, heel flap, and a rounded toe. So I didn't match these, but that's okay. They're socks for me. They'll go in my shoes and they'll keep my feet warm. So that was my last finished object for this episode. We've got 2 weeks left of school, and so after school gets out, it's summer sock camp season, and I've already got all of my bags packed with sock yarn and needles ready to start summer sock camp. But I have a few things that I am still working on. Let's see. I'll start with my blanket. So this is my first work in progress. This is a blanket that I'm using Row 1 minis for. This is the Scrap Witchery blanket. I think last time I was right there where that progress keeper is, and I've done a little bit more. So I held this up, stood up and held it up. It goes about halfway up my body. So this has, let's see, January, February, March, up to the green, and I've started on April. So April is the 4th month. So I'll have to do about 8 months maybe. I'll probably go the whole year and just make it a super long blanket that I can curl up on the couch or fold double and throw over my shoulders. So this will be a long-term project. I'm using some Stroll Dove Heather and Row 1 minis held together, and it's so squishy. It's like a kind of like a potato chippy kind of knit. You just keep going and going and going and going. Oh, I wonder if I can get to the next color. Oh, yep, here's the next color. Oh, let's see if I can, what does it look like with that color in there? So then I'm like, oh, I want to know, I want to get to the next color. What's the next color? And I just keep working, keep working. So this is after school, after dinner, sit down to watch TV. And it's just a little tote that sits by my chair. So that was my first work in progress. I have another blanket kind of like that one. This one is the Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. And this one I'm using some Lion Brand Mandala. This is some of the yarn that I said, oh, that's pretty, I want to get a couple of skeins of that. And then there's really not enough yarn to do much with just a couple of skeins. This comes in 344 yards to 150 grams, 100% acrylic. It's soft, and I wasn't quite sure, but I knew I loved the colors. So I've got the rainbow color, the purple with the dark purple, the green, let's see. This is another purple one that I started, the Simple Hug Cardi by Cozy Up Knits. Took it back out. I've got just like a gray with a little bit of black or charcoal gray in there. And I'll just finish one ball, move on to the next, and just keep going, and we'll see what this does. So this one is also easy to follow. As long as you can read your knitting, you can know if you're on the right side or the wrong side. It doesn't really have a right side or a wrong side, this one. This one, I started with an I-cord. It doesn't call for I-cord cast on in the pattern, but it has you do an applied I-cord edge after you're finished, and I didn't want to take the time after I was finished to do I-cord, So I cast on an I-cord and I'm just doing an I-cord up the side as I go. So that is my second work in progress. The next one I have is in my Sassy sacks. This one is my big Cozy Cardi. I think last time I was right here with a little cute little mushroom progress keeper, and I've got about that much. So it tells you how many inches you need to go. I'm about a third of the way done before I block it, seam it, and start the edging that goes along the collar. So I'm using Knitpicks Upcycle Alpaca for this one. This is the Sport Weight Seaglass. And then the Suri is Loco in the elm color. So I work on this every once in a while when I have enough brain space to count. You have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's just back and forth. So I have that one. The next one I have, I don't think you've seen yet. It's living in my Fates thread bag with all the dragons. I started an Icy Spring pullover. This one's by Locatelli. I did show this before. I was this far on the back. Since then I have picked up the sleeves for the front, and I like this cute little lace section. Tried to weave in some of my ends along the top yesterday, so I didn't have as many floating around when I was done. This is my third ball, and this is the yarn I'm using. It's a sport weight, 30% alpaca, 30% linen, 25% viscose from bamboo, and 15% micro tweed. There's 274 yards to 100 grams. And this is the color Wisteria. So this will probably come on the field trip with me on the bus, so I can just go round and round and round and round. I can keep an eye on the kids and just knit. So that's that one. Let's see, I've got my other blanket. This is the Lily's scrap blanket that I've been working on. This is all my chunky yarn. Decided to stripe the green a little bit. It's got these cute fuzzies, and every once in a while I will go into one of those instead of into the whole loop. So I thought maybe if I striped it, there would be less of a chance of going into those the little loops instead of the stitch. So working on it. This will be a Scrappy Sunday project, or this summer when I'm home for the summer, it might be my 30 minutes of knitting every morning. Come up here, drink my coffee, knit on a scrappy blanket. So I've got all my scraps over in the corner, all my chunky scraps. I've got a pair of socks that I started yesterday for my mom. So I like to use the 9-inch circulars. I cast on 64 stitches for her. This is a Zen Yarn Garden yarn. The purple is Cherry Grape. It's just a fun, variegated, purpley red with the zebra stripe, and then I'll do the cuffs, the heels, and the toes in this. And this is their Nightshade fingering. I just got this off Zulily a couple summers ago. I think this is a really good deal. I think I got this one and a green one together, and this one, I don't remember which ones I got together, but it comes in a pack of 2 for like the same price as one skein of hand-dyed yarn, or a little bit extra. I will link my Zulily down below, so you can go check that out. And so this is in my, I can't remember which bag this is. I don't see a tag. My daughter picked this one up because it had cute little feathers on it. I got this on Etsy. I will link this one also. The last work in progress I have is in my Awesome Bags by Granny. Last year for the Great Basin Fiber Festival, my daughter picked out 2 skeins of yarn from Sinful Yarn and asked me to make her a tank top. She saw the pattern, she saw the yarn, and she said, Mom, make this for me. So I said, okay. I'm not very far. This is the Summer Court Tank by Dragon Horde Designs, or Dragon Horde Yarn. Got my cute little dragon that I got from Twice Sheared Sheep last time. And I'm just in the lace section along the bottom. It calls for beads, but she didn't really want beads on it, so I said, okay, we don't have to do the beads. And this is in the color Marabelle from Sinful Yarn. So I started this one last night, and I'm just working through the lace section. And then we'll see if I can get this finished within the first week after school gets out. That's my goal, to have it done at least by the second week in June. So, and that is everything I've been working on in the last 2 weeks. I did order some yarn. I got some yarn from Knitpicks, and I got some from, I want to say, Dyeworks yarn. I think that's what it was. She was having a mystery mini skein sale, and it came in 6 in a pack, so I got 4 packs. I'll try not to crinkle too much. So this will probably go into a blanket. I got some Stroll tweed to hold with it. This one is the down heather. It's almost like the dove heather. And then I got this one. This is the Earl Grey heather in the tweed. So I've got 10 50-gram balls, and so that will be 500 grams, and I hope this will make a blanket. If we're going off of this one, I'll probably need to order some more. But Knitpicks has, I can't remember if it's 10 or 20% off if you order 10 skeins of yarn at a time. They have a coupon code you can add. And so I got some more cords to go with my new options interchangeable needles. These ones are the reflection set, and these cables are more like the Chowgu cables, but they twist. So there's less memory in the cord, but they twist. So we're going to try these out for a while, see how they work. And that is also everything that I've bought. I did do at least one order for an advent for Christmas this year. I ordered from Pretty Twisted Yarn. She's doing it looks like a neon fade set this time. And so I'm super excited to support her and get another advent for Christmas. And we'll see how that goes. Be sure to like and subscribe. Give me a comment down below. And thanks for hanging out with me today. Happy knitting!